the Maxwell King from 2015. And oh my god, look at that beauty. You know, I used to dream about this card back in 2015. And it's a Founders Edition. Look how beautiful it is. Back then it was around 650 US dollars. And this was the best thing you could buy as a consumer GPU. There's a Titan X, which is the best Maxwell card, but you know, this thing is really good. So today we'll be testing the GTX 980 Ti and 3 Spider-Man games that is released on PC, including the recent Spider-Man 2. So I can't wait to see how this almost 10-year-old card performs in the recent titles, and I'm excited. So let's see how well this ancient legend can perform in games in 2025. Okay, so before we jump into the games, let's talk a little bit about the 980 Ti. The GTX 980 Ti was released in June 2015. Based on the Maxwell architecture, it was the high-end GPU back in the days, just below the Titan X, which came later in the year. It could play a lot of games on max settings back then, and even now we can play a lot of games decently on 1080p. It came out with 2816 CUDA cores, with a base clock of 1000 MHz and a boost clock of 1075 MHz, with 6 GB DDR5 memory with a memory bus of 384-bit and a max TDP of 250 watts, which is pretty high for the time. And it supports DirectX 12, which is a really good feature, which is the only thing that keeps this card relevant still now, because you need DX12 to run most of the games in 2025. So we are pairing the 980 Ti with the 9800X 3D, of course, why not? You know, so we can avoid any bottlenecks. Yeah, I don't know how much of a bottleneck this video is gonna be, but let's find it out. And then the memory is a 64 gigabytes, 6000 megahertz DDR5 memory. And yeah, so this is what we're working with, and it's using the latest NVIDIA driver 572.16, and apparently it works with this GPU. So yeah, let's get into Spider-Man now. Okay, let's start the video off with Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, which came out in 2018 for the PS5 and in 2022 for Steam and PC. So I finished the game, so I haven't touched this game since 2023. Let's revisit the game on the 980 Ti. Let's go to the settings first. So of course we're gonna start the game off on 1080p and maybe off, see how it is on native settings, and turn everything to maybe medium and see if that works. So this is 1080p native, everything is medium, and no upscaling. Let's see. Okay, so we're in the game, and wow, it is pretty smooth. Let's start running the FPS. We're getting 75 FPS on medium settings, guys. No way. Okay, so the 980 Ti can still play this game on 60 FPS, 1080p. This is crazy. And we can see it's not using a lot of CPU power, so this is actually the power of the GPU you're seeing right here. Maybe not, because the GPU is at 97% usage. But guys, this is really good. This is amazing. 71 FPS solid. The 0.1% lows are not that bad. Wow. The 980 Ti can still game on the modern titles. Okay, just a disclaimer, guys. I didn't check the recommended system requirements for this game. Apparently it's just a 1060 6GB card, which is about 41% slower than 980 Ti. So I should have expected this, and I should have checked this before I started playing the game. But yeah, this is my dumbass mistake. Sorry, but let's continue the video. Okay, this is interesting. Let me see. What about high settings? The fact that this card has only 6GB of VRAM is the only limitation right now that I'm seeing. It had like 8GB. I'm pretty sure it can perform on 1440p on high settings. So on high settings, we're still getting 80 FPS. Still 60 plus all the time. That is really good. I never expected this game to be running so well on the 980 Ti like this on high settings. Wow, guys, I am so impressed. Okay, it is dropping a little bit to the higher 50s or 40s, but still, I can't be mad. This is so cool. This is really good. I'm curious. Let me just try high, very high then. Yeah, this might be a little bit taxing for the GPU. We're using 6 gigabytes, and yeah, it is dropping below 60 FPS now. But still, yeah, it is still playable though. Don't get me wrong, but there's still a smooth experience. Okay, so this is making me curious. Should I just go to 4040p and see how things will be? This is without any upscaling. This is native performance we're seeing right here. Let me go to 4040p. This might be a little too much for the 6 GB card for the 980 Ti. You're getting, yeah, it is. I started to stutter a lot. We are actually CPU bound right now because it's not using a lot of the GPU power. We are still not using 100% of the GPU. We are using about 5 GB of the VRAM out of 6. But I am impressed. This is 1440p native, very high settings. And you're getting 50 FPS. Yeah, this game was really well optimized too. Don't get me wrong there. Nixus did a really good job on that. Let's go up to the start tower and look down from there. And it's consuming almost 200 watts of power. Okay, that was a major dip right there. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So at the top, you can see everything. Still not terrible. Still maintaining 30 FPS on 4040p high. Very high. Let's turn on DLSS. I'm pretty sure we can get 60 FPS with DLSS. Oh, never mind. This is not an RTX card to have the DLSS feature. It's not supported in the Maxwell architecture. So we can only go for AMD FSR, unfortunately. So we are still in the same. It didn't do much. Hey, I think it made it worse. Look at the bridge at the distance. Let's go AMD FSR 3 performance and see how that is. Okay, so that will get us to 60 FPS. Yeah, with all the FSR artifacts. But it's much more smoother. You can get 60 FPS here. Oh yeah, that was a major dip. Yeah, this is really playable on 1440p settings. I'm really impressed. Yeah, the 980 Ti is still a legend. If you have this card, just keep it. You can still play games in 2025. Let's just turn this off. Maybe try changing the settings to medium. See if we can keep 60 FPS stable. 57 FPS. It looks really good. Wow. Yeah, I'm really impressed. I don't think I need to test it out on 4040p since this is really doing really well. Let me try it on FSR balanced with the same medium settings. Now we can get close to 100 FPS. I wish this card supported DLSS because I'm pretty sure we could easily get 100 FPS without losing a lot of image quality, especially with the new DLSS 4. But you know, unfortunately it is only supported in the RTX series cards, not a 10-year-old GPU with a Maxwell architecture. But yeah guys, if you are planning to get this game, you have a 980 Ti, go for it. It's gonna be a really smooth experience. Even on 4040p, very high settings, you can get around 60 FPS. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so moving on to Spiderman Miles Morales. This is a really cool game. I finished it in 2024, early 2024, and I'm gonna revisit it after a year. 980 Ti. Let's get it. Let's do the same thing here. Let's go to 1080p at first, without any upscalers. No VSync and graphics. Medium. You know what? Let's go high because I think we can get pretty decent FPS. Okay. Okay, so this game is a little bit more intensive than the other one. So this, yeah, let's see how it performs on high settings. Okay, you're getting 75 FPS on high settings. 1080p? Yeah, it is dropping a little bit. Yeah, this one's a little bit more intensive. And look at the cat inside the bag. It's a really cool outfit. 60 FPS. It does lose a little bit more FPS because of the snow particles effects and all that good stuff, but it's still a smooth experience. Wow. I'm really impressed by the 980 Ti. Oh wait, did I just... There's a crime going on. Okay, let's see. It's a perfect time to test out a crime scene. The 980 Ti.
Need to keep that beast driver safe from those robbers.
Okay. How is he still alive after that? There it is. Backup's coming. Alright. Still maintaining a sweet 60 FPS. Hey, what are you doing? Come here. Boom! Yeah, get him, cat. And that was the last of them. Okay, that was pretty cool. Had a whole fight and we were able to get 60 FPS all throughout. Amazing, guys. Let's crank it up a little bit more. Very high. Because why not? And very high, we're still getting 60 FPS. Wow. 60 something FPS. You don't even have to turn down the graphics settings. It does drop a little bit here and there. But overall, it's a pretty smooth experience. Guys, like I was saying, if this card had 8 GB of VRAM, it would have been a different story. The Maxwell architecture is still pretty solid in 2025. Okay, so before we go into the fight, let me go to 1440p on very high settings. So this is gonna use a lot more GPU memory because we're on 1440p. Higher the resolution, higher the GPU power is gonna use. Oh, it's this guy. I hate these guys. Oh, 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 oh! Get off me. Yeah. Guys, this is still playable by all means, so you know what? Let's try adding a little bit of FSR on balanced. Getting 50 FPS. That was easy. Getting into the 60s, but yes, definitely if FSR turned on, you're gonna lose a lot of the fidelity because of the artifacting. It sucks. We get smooth 60 FPS. Even with all of these effects, it still keeps a 30 plus FPS experience. Damn, that hurts. Woohoo! Ah, damn. Jesus. So even in that fight, we were... Oh, look at the kitty. How cute. Look at him go. Even in that intense fight, we didn't drop below 30 most of the time. You lose a lot of image quality, dude. So yeah, that's why I hate FSR. Because it doesn't work well with these NVIDIA GPUs particularly. So let's turn it off and keep playing on native settings. So on 1440p. Turn the graphics to medium. We're getting 50 FPS, 55. 48. Another crime. Let's go. So before we jump in there, let me turn it down to low settings to see if we can get 60 FPS constant. I don't think so. Maybe very low. What about low? Maybe not. Getting 50 FPS, 48. Yep. Pretty good. Yeah, guys, this is absolutely a playable experience. Even on the highest settings. You don't even have to go down to 1080p. This is really cool. You know, high settings. It's still a really playable experience. I had the 980 Ti and this was my only card. I would play like this. I had a 1440p monitor, of course. So yeah, that's it for Miles Morales. Now let's see the latest and greatest Spider-Man 2 on the 980 Ti. I have really high expectations now after seeing these two games perform. So yeah, let's jump into it. Okay, so this game needs a 1650 to play this game on 720p low settings at 60 FPS. That's what they say, the official system requirements. But let's see how the 980 holds up. So we are starting it off on 1440p, no FSR, no frame generation, native TAA anti-aliasing, and then maybe medium. I don't know if medium's gonna be too much for this card, because this game is way more intensive than the previous two. But let's see, guys. Let's see if the 980 Ti can do anything with this. Show us the maximum power. Okay, we are in the game. Start counting the FPS. 33 FPS on medium settings, native 1440p. Really? But yes, this game uses way more VRAM than the previous two because we are almost maxing out our VRAM limitations. And the frame time graph is horrible. Oh, what is this? What the hell is this? Okay, it's a collectible. Okay, let's go to the crime scene and see how a fight goes. We're dropping into the 20s. Oh yeah, it is dropping into the 20s now. There you go. Yeah, sub 20 FPS on medium settings, 1440p, which is still impressive though. It's a 2025 title, even though the PS5 game came out in 2023. It's still impressive. Let's try low settings. On low, you're getting around the same 30 FPS. Still using a shit ton of VRAM. But it's still impressive, guys. The 980 Ti, like, you can still play this game like this. Not saying it's really smooth experience, but is it playable for a 980 Ti? Yes, it is. Another crime. I'd love to see it. So before we get into the crime, let me lower the graphics down to very low and see if that helps a little bit. Should be able to get 40s, right? Still in the 30s. Weapons dealers.
Well, look who's in the neighborhood. There you go. I was just gonna say the same about you.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, Miles is also here. Okay. This game is pretty cool. So Miles will join you in fights. That's pretty cool, man. I like that. Nice job, man. Thanks. Oh, there's more people. Okay. Where's the other guys?
And what he gets from
Why is he here?
curses. One of my greatest nemesis. Reinforcements.
There it is.
Didn't see you there. Thanks. We should take this on the road sometime. Sounds like a good excuse to finally build that Spiderman.
Okay, this is cool. This is pretty awesome. I like that. And he's gone. So on 4040p, you cannot get 60 FPS from Spider-Man 2. So let's go to 1080p and try medium settings. 1080p medium settings, 30 FPS still? Huh. 30 to 40 FPS, 1080p medium settings. This is what I was not expecting. Let me just try restarting the game then. I don't think it's applied to settings. Yeah, so even after restarting the game, we are still getting similar performance. Yes, the GPU cannot push really that much because it's using a lot of VRAM even on 1080p. And the frame time graph, that is absolutely horrendous. The game is still playable. Okay, let me see with some upscalers. Or maybe let's try very low. Very low, we're getting 50 FPS. Close to 50 FPS, not quite there yet.
Think you got us, huh?
Okay. Still not able to get 60 FPS. Maybe let's try upscaling. This are 3.1 on balanced. Okay, that will get us to 60 FPS plus. But yes, the horrible artifacting, it is way more visible in this game than compared to the other previous two Spider-Man titles. Whee! But we are getting 60 FPS constantly. Okay. Yeah, you can see the artifacting around his legs. It is pretty visible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is terrible. So let's see if we go to 720p. Maybe we'll be able to get 60 FPS. The 720p settings. Oh yeah, we are able to get 60 FPS now. But this is very low settings, guys. Wait, we're still dropping into the 50s here and there. Okay, so we are getting 60 FPS plus all the time on 720p very low native settings. Should I try going to maybe medium settings? I don't think we're gonna get 60 FPS on these. Or can we? It is still using 5.2 GB of VRAM. Ah gosh, I wished this card had 8 GB. Would have been a really good experience. Even on 1080p. It's just that it's just a little short of the VRAM to get that smooth 60 FPS all the time. What a shame, what a shame. Such a great card. Doing really well in modern games. Ah.
When's he ever made a plan? Squash the spider!
Yeah, damn it. Does he have a rocket launcher? Yeah, 50 FPS. So yes, there you have it. Spider-Man 2 on the 980 Ti with the 9800X3D. Alright guys, so the 980 Ti still is a pretty good card. Yeah, you guys can see like the 9800X3D is a monster of a CPU. It is the best gaming CPU out in the market right now. So it was heavily, the 980 Ti was heavily being bottlenecked throughout the entire video. And I was surprised that the 980 Ti still can play games on high settings, pretty recent games as well. If you guys can get a 980 Ti for like 70 bucks, which is what I got it for from Facebook Marketplace, you can get this if you're on a budget and if you don't care about any ray tracing or any of that stuff, and if you want to play games still, this might be a good pick, but only if you're on budget, right? And if you don't plan on playing on high settings, on high refresh rates, stuff like that, if you just want like a single player experience, you can still play some games with it. So I don't know how it'll perform against some other games. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments, and I will try to make a video on it with the 9800X 3D. I know it's a ridiculous combination to go with, even with 64 GB of RAM. But you know, it's fun to test things out on a 10-year-old GPU and a pretty latest CPU. You know, the 980 Ti was trying to keep up with the CPU, but you know, it tried its best, and I love to test more games on it. So let me know in the comments, guys. So that'll be it for the 980 Ti in the 3 Spider-Man games. Yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Hope you're having a great day, and peace out.